Looks like we got a new friend!
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Guildmates of Ravnica. This week, that is not Kyle in the DM seat. I'm fairly certain it's not. We'll be going around and saying hello to everyone, but before we do, can I please draw your attention to these announcements? We now have one command for the whole thing, so please check out all of these links, and all of the good things that are going on there. This stream is brought to you by Bird in the Storm Processing. I always do that. I make them sound like they're some kind of VR or software company. Bird in the Storm Publishing and Mageham Press, who are the sponsors of the channel, with some other things in the panels and things. Check out all those links. They're all good. They're all good fun. So let's go round and say hello to everyone. Why don't we start with our DM for the day, Renee?
You're muted!
I'm trying to unmute and it isn't working, and it's not very good for a dramatic entrance when that mute button is just sticking. Golly gee, hi, I'm Renee. Welcome to Ravnica. I am so excited to be back. This is my second time running an adventure in Ravnica. The first was for the Podcasts of Ravnica Wizards of the Coast D&D event. My podcast, Fate and the Fable Maidens, participated, and we represented the Selesnya Conclave. So I am exploring a new guild today, and a new aspect of the Ravnica setting. But I'm really excited because I really loved this book, and I loved reading a lot of it, and I loved getting to work on things for the quest today. So thank you so much. Let's introduce our players as well. I can't tell which way is which on the screen. Scrat, can you help me, please?
Well, it doesn't really matter. There's only two, so you'll either end up going clockwise or anti-clockwise. You can just...
I guess that's true. Okay.
Just pick one.
Let's start with Mallow.
That would be me! Hello, I'm Shakespeare, and I'm playing Mallow, who is a Simic hybrid. I know nothing about Ravnica, short of the small things my small brain has managed to process. So this should be fun. Fortunately, Mallow is very dumb, so it works out well. Yes, I'm so excited because it's not a setting I've ever played in before. It's going to be fun. Mm-hmm.
It's definitely different.
I've never played a Simic hybrid before, so this should be fun. I've never played a sorcerer before. It's all new things.
Yeah. So do you want to explain what your character, what being a Simic hybrid means to them?
My character Mallow was basically, because of the way their sorcery manifested, they were pretty much abandoned on the streets of Ravnica, and the Simic Combine took them in. And as a part of that, they kind of went, oh, experiment on me? Why not? So they have various buggy enhancements that they that they have no idea why it's really happened, but it's fine. I'm sure it's progress. It's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Perfect. I actually went the direction I wanted to, too, now that I've gotten Twitch pulled up, so I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. We're gonna go around to Bruge.
Hi, I'm Bruge, also Jim Pyre in real life. I'm playing Lexodon Cleric, and I guess he's from Boros. I know Ravnica from Magic the Gathering, so this is going to be a new experience for me too, but I'm going to have fun. I made Bruges young, so he's a young sort of neophyte cleric, and he's always very optimistic. Oh, he's also a big elephant. Because that's what Luxodons are. He's also a big elephant, which is cool. How could I not play a big elephant?
That's perfect. And Scrat, since I don't typically DM this game, could you explain to me who your character is?
Why, I certainly can. And I wouldn't worry, because I have absolutely no experience of Ravnica, except what Kyle has taught me since the beginning of the season, which is a ton of fun. I didn't even realize it was based on Magic the Gathering until, like, episode 2. So, yeah, who knew? Professional D&D streamer over here, hi. I'll be playing Virgil Simpkins today. Virgil is a tiefling. They are a paladin who took the Oath of the Ancients, but the Oath of the Ancients is not the Oath of the Ancients, it's actually the Oath to the Simic Combine, which I just used the flavouring. It worked. It worked real nice. So, yeah. Yes, I am not very strong, though. Or dexterous. Or anything, really. I rolled his stats. He's the most plain individual you've ever met.
Oh, good. I'm learning more about Ravnica all the time. I just created my first character from Ravnica, but she's actually being played in Faerun, got some weird planes bouncing things going on. So I'm gonna do my best today, and if there are any, huge Ravnica fans, we may not be entirely spot on. I think that's gonna be okay. This is our Ravnica. Welcome to our Ravnica.
We should also do a quick shout out. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today, but Nairi is usually in the other panel over there with the Back Next Week on this week. Malakatra, you can find her on Twitter at Malakatra, and she often appears on Natural Ruckus.
Awesome.
Sorry, I just wanted to,
Cool, yeah.
So, for today's session, each of the guilds is built to accomplish a goal. These guilds don't always get along. In fact, they rarely get along, and some guilds only get along with the guilds they fill. Goals align with one another. So for the Simic Combine, the Simic Combine has been about the pursuit of natural advancement and adaptation and evolution, really, which is why you have seen so many experiments coming out of the Combine, including our Simic hybrid friends who have animalistic attributes that, animalistic attributes that advance their skill and adaptability to the world around them. So, for just kind of to start out with, Virgil, what is your role within the Simic Combine?
I am a protector. I look after the daily deeds. This has recently included moving a professor's belongings, delivering a bomb of multiplying bunny rabbit things to a fellow scholar who didn't cite a professor in his works, and fighting kobolds in the street. And let me tell you, kobolds are not to be trifled with. They nearly killed me.
So you've seen plenty of strange experiments. Now, in your role as protector, is it trying to protect people from the experiments, or trying to protect the experiments themselves, or depends on the day?
It depends on the day. Most of the professors can use me, I guess, for my skills. Be that for light clerical duties or for protecting experiments, sometimes protecting the professors from the experiments themselves. It's really the knowledge is the main thing. I guess I serve the professors and the faculty more than anything else.
Yes, of course. So, Mallow, you mentioned they're not the maybe smartest, so maybe they're not scientists of the Simic Combine, but they've clearly been adopted into the culture enough to become a hybrid themselves. So, what is Mallow's role within the Simic Combine?
Mallow is basically like a runner, because they've kind of proven that they can't be trusted with very much else. They either get distracted by things, or their wild magic messes with things. So they've kind of been given small jobs, like the kind of jobs you'd give to a child, just so that they feel useful and included, and will keep letting people experiment on them, which they're fine with. I like to be useful. It's good. I can do that. It's okay.
Of course. And since Mallow is so eager to do their work, they were asked today to be kind of the go-between between a visitor from the Boros Legion and the representatives of the Simic Combine. And you've been sent up to one of the more popular growth chambers in the 10th district of Ravnica. These growth chambers are places where some of the valuable Simic Combine. Do not use my green screen as a scratching post. No. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. She's gonna go probably sleep behind it now. She's never done that before. Okay, anyway. Or that I've seen. Ooh. So you've been sent to this growth chamber where some of the experiments are housed, and it is called a growth chamber for a reason. They're not even just housed here, they're grown. Whatever those experiments may be, whether they're advanced beast creatures or if they are hybrids like yourself. And you find yourself here meeting up with Virgil, who is a protector, who is here because his responsibility their responsibility today is to be sure that the person coming in from the Boros Legion doesn't disrupt the life of the Simic Combine too much. In fact, the role of protector here becomes a little bit gray when the militaristic enforcers of Ravnica become involved. And the Boros Legion isn't especially welcome here. Their goals don't align, but the Boros Legion tends to step in when there are things to investigate. And recently, this growth chamber has experienced a theft. So you two find yourself in the lobby as a rather large Loxodon arrives at the doors.
Also, Renee, we've just hit 10 retweets. Do you have a table prepared?
Yes, I'm using a fun potions list.
Hey.
I will roll for that. We're in the Simic Combine. Things get weird here.
You're telling me we had 2 random surges on Curse of Strahd last night. First, the players all couldn't see living creatures, and then were attacked by assassins. That was fun.
Ooh, very fun.
Thank you for reminding me that I should probably have my wild magic table up.
Yes, that's actually a very good thing. So, oh gosh, there's a lot of chat history I had to scroll through. Okay. So Bruge, can you describe what your role in the Boros Legion is?
Well, right now my role is not much. I'm very young. I'm only 59. I may be someday on the verge of adulthood, but not quite yet. This is a chance for the Legion to sort of take the training wheels off and push me out to see the world, because I haven't done that at all. I've basically been just at home studying and such. So this is my first real adventure, and I want to make the most out of it.
Yes, you've been given this assignment in part because I think your superiors want to see how you interact with the Simic Combine, which is they're weird in the Simic Combine. Yeah, they do a lot of experiments, and some of them are aberrations, and some of them are just not natural, even though they claim to be very passionate about nature. And so they kind of want to see how you interact, because that is going to be a very important factor in your career. And they told you this up front. They were very transparent that this is a bit of a test for you. They want to see how you do and how you handle the situation. And at any given point, if a superior officer needs to step in, they will. But they trust that you have it well in hand. And you step into the lobby of this growth chamber where you were told to report and are met by 2 members of the Simic Combine. Can you describe how you look, Bruges?
Well, I'm not very big for my race. I'm only 7'9". I have very shiny. I don't have plate mail because I thought that would be imposing. So I have very shiny scale mail, and I have all the baubles and accoutrements. I have a shield and a mace. I'm being very clericy because that's who I am. But I don't have that stuff on me because I'm a very chipper by nature. So I just want to give everybody a great big handshake or a hug. I have to remember that they're not as big as I am too. So I have to make sure I don't crush anybody. I've had problems with that in the past. I don't want to go into that though.
Completely fair. And you're met by 2 members of the Simic Combine. Virgil, can you describe what you look like, please?
Certainly. Virgil has a red-tinged skin, eyes which are voids of dark purple, jet black hair from which 2 small delicate horns protrude, which prevents him from being able to wear a helmet, but he does wear brightly shining armor with the Simic Combine emblem, I suppose, on the chest, and a shield to match. 6'1". They thought they were tall.
You're a little guy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they thought they were tall, but they're obviously not so much. Also, no boots, because hooves.
Yes. Mallow, can you describe what you look like, please?
Well, let's start with the obvious. Mallow is about 5 foot tall.
The shortest of the bunch.
They are itty bitty because looking at them from a humanoid point of view, they appear to be around 15 or 16. They're very tiny and very skinny, to the point where they're probably stood like you could hide them behind Virgil and they would disappear completely. They're dressed in mostly black, looks like fairly basic clothing, with a head wrap covering their head. Their skin is dark, kind of grey blue, because they're of, can I pronounce this right? Vidalcan extraction. But it almost appears to look like their skin is slightly too tight. Like when you have sunburn and the skin just kind of, there's a layer over skin. Mm-hmm. And when they move, it catches a slight iridescence like you see on oil scum or beetles. Their eyes are a little alarming because I don't know if you're familiar with Vanta Black, but their eyes don't reflect any light. It's like there's a hole there's holes. There's just nothing. You can't tell where they're looking, but they helpfully move their head to where they're actually looking in a very kind of twitchy manner. And when their mouth drops open in shock from the 7 foot something being they're presented with, it's a little disturbing because the inside of their mouth appears to be entirely white instead of the normal reddish pink hue. Their tongue and gums and teeth all appear to be white. So it's very strange. And they're standing rather twitchily next to Virgil, kind of staring up in shock.
And this is a growth chamber they are very familiar with. They've worked here before for some of the odd jobs they do as a runner. So they know the general layout, but definitely the Loxodon who walks through the door is a new piece of scenery.
I can't help but to look around and sort of, in awe. I've read stuff like this, but I've never met anybody outside my little group, outside my little Loxodani clan. So this is all very impressive to me.
It appears our envoy from the Boros, Loxodon Mallow. You are assigned to this, I believe.
I am. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Mm.
Big! Really big! Hi, big. Hello.
And
Mallow.
I will hold them by their shoulders and kind of give them a little squeeze, a very little squeeze. It's very nice to meet you.
There's this
Ooh.
there's the creaking sound.
Virtual's a bit awkward about the whole thing. They're not sure that. Oh, intimations. Yes.
Very nice.
Bruising. Bruise now.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Very sorry.
It's okay. Oh.
What does bruising look like on your skin?
It actually goes pale. Like when you press on the ends of your fingers and the skin blushes pale, it actually goes pale. It's very weird.
Oh yeah. I'm not the only person who did that. I'm looking at you, chat.
I will try. I'm nervous, so I will try not to have my nose get all twitchy, but it's getting twitchy. It sort of just wanders around and smells things.
So
Mallow's head is just following your nose, like.
I believe we are here to discuss a theft.
Yes, yes. Can you tell me more about what happened? I'm afraid I don't know much.
Someone stole something.
Yes, that's about as much as I know, too. I've only really just been assigned to this task. I was hoping you might know more, Mallow.
I've been told I don't know much.
You know, though, who they are meant to speak to. You know probably nothing about what.
Mallow just lifts their hand up because there's written on their hand. It's like, and there's that squint where they're actually trying to read their own handwriting. Who am I supposed to take them to or speak to? Like
Kalos. Kalos is a scientist in this particular growth chamber.
Wait, is that a C or a B? Callus. We have to go see Callus.
I smell her palm there with the writing. Well, lead the way.
Tickle.
Yeah. And they know where the hall is off of this main lobby. This lobby is rather large, though the growth chamber itself is more of like an attachment onto one of the towers of Ravnica. It's built with these large green tinted windows that reflect the sunlight outside, and inside are a number of decorative pools with small bridges going over them. It's very much like there are small fish inside. It's made to look other, and but also kind of like calming and welcoming. And then once you get on the other side of these pools are these large pods. And it's hard to really see what is inside the pods aside from this greenish, slightly glowing liquid. But you see somewhat humanoid figures in each of these pods. They're large. They stand at least your height, Bruges, and they're like very metallic and have some lights lit on the side that just are alight and glowing. On the other side is a small counter where three receptionists are stationed, each of them wearing a scarf around their neck that represents the colors of the Simic Combine in a dark navy blue.
Mallow practically skips. Like there's like they start to skip and then stop because they're escorting people. It's very serious, and then after a minute they forget and start skipping again. all the way across the little bridges, kind of stopping every now and then to look back to make sure they are being followed, and kind of bouncing in that kind of come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, and then going ahead again kind of way, all the way over to one of the receptionists, and we'll kind of bounce in front of them like they're waiting to be acknowledged.
The receptionist slowly looks up from their work. Can I help you?
I brought the visitors, the visitor I was supposed to bring to Callus. I did that. I was supposed to.
Oh, the visitors. Yes, of course. So lovely to have you here today. And they look past Mallow towards Bruges and definitely are a little bit taken aback by how tall he is. And they just kind of nod and pull out a small drawer to the side with a number of potions inside and says, "Complimentary drink. Welcome to the Simic Combine."
Oh, wonderful! I'd love to. And I will grab it with my nose.
They do pass it along to you. It is a small. It's like a vial or a flask. It's very small, like a sample, really. And they kind of look at you expectantly.
Would I know what that is?
It is a roll from the potions list.
Oh. Is this custom? Do I drink this now? I'm just smiling.
Yes,
Probably
no,
a bit
you're
polite.
absolutely welcome to drink it now.
Okay, I just pop it down my throat then. Oh.
And as you drink, all three of the receptionists now are looking up and forward at you, and you vanish.
Ah! Okay.
You find yourself in an area of Ravnica you have not yet been. Most of the city is, well, very urban. You find yourself surrounded by trees and some broken down stone, and at the base of this stone is a pond. This water trickles out from the trees and into this pond, and sunlight shines through the leaves in the foliage overhead. And you feel it's kind of just like a feeling in your heart that the flask is now empty.
This is wonderful. They treat all their guests this way? My goodness. I'll just go kind of sit by the pond and take it all in. This is really nice. I'll just wait to see what happens next.
The longer you sit by the pond, the more urgency you begin to feel that the flask is empty.
I will fill the flask with the water from the pond.
As soon as you refill it, you reappear in the lobby of the Simic Combine.
Hello all. That was fun.
Oh god, he's back! Oh god, he's back!
You see that all of them are slightly disappointed when you say it was fun. I think, can you roll me an insight check, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Virgil has like a smirk on their face, but that could just be their demonic disposition.
Mallow will have been hyperventilating from the minute that he disappeared. They are very aware that they're supposed to be doing a job, and they have messed up jobs before a lot, and so it's kind of like, oh, he's back!
Uh-oh.
He's back!
Hold on here. This is my first time rolling, so this is an experience all on its own.
You are great. That is
How's that?
part of how this works.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
16, yeah.
That's pretty good. So
Okay.
you get the sense that they were kind of trying to prank you, and were hoping you might be a little bit more disappointed by it. And when you came back very eager, they just kind of lost some of their enthusiasm.
Oh, well, I guess everything worked out fine then. Okay. All right.
And they kind of nod and they said, "Well, Mallow, if you'd like to show them back, you're welcome to."
Okay. Mallow just sticks a hand on like the side of Booch's like clothes, and it kind of sticks in a kind of like a burr stuck to your clothing. It's like, this way, don't do that again. Okay.
Oh, would you like some? I brought some more. Where I have some more.
No, I learned not to. No. Weird things happen anyway. No, and just like starts tugging at the piece of clothing. It's like,
Okay.
come
I'll
on.
put the vial in my backpack and I'll just follow along. That was fun.
Like, Mallow takes about like 10 steps, then turns around and kind of like comes back to the receptionist. Where is Callus right now? Do you know? I don't know. I've got to help.
Oh, yes. 2 levels down in their laboratory. You should be able to find them there.
That makes sense. Okay, and starts walking off again, still kind of stuck to Booch.
You're really rather lucky, Bruce. This is one of the prettier buildings in our facility. I do hope you enjoy the glass work.
It's very pretty. I have to admit, it's not something I've ever seen before. I've read about it, but never seen it. It's an honor.
You have been interested in the Simic Combine? You've been reading?
I've read about everything. I don't really get out much. This is my first big assignment. Don't know if I should have told you that, though, but it is.
I know that feeling. I had a big job the other week. They let me move some paper. It was really, it was so good.
Very cool.
Am I the only experienced campaigner here? Yes, okay,
Yes.
no problem, this is fine.
Mallow's done stuff. It's just been very, very small stuff.
I've
mess
read
up
a lot.
everything else.
Well,
I've read a lot about campaigning.
That's fantastic. Let us continue down to Callus. Mallow, lead on.
Tug. Just keeps walking. Occasionally skipping and then remembering that they're stuck to someone's outfit and going, oh no, can't do that. Lead
You
them all the way
continue
down.
down this hall, and every couple of yards there are more growth chambers. They're smaller than the pods that you find out at the front. They're just like, waist height, maybe more for show, but you still see the shadow of some sort of shape inside and that greenish glowing liquid within each of them. As you go down this hall, off to the sides there's like a cafeteria. There are some office spaces. You notice right off of kind of the reception area, there is a break room listed on the door. And there's like the cafeteria is also next to kind of like a kitchen and a sitting space. There are small couches and, like the little round chairs that are really more for show because they're terribly uncomfortable to sit on. And down the other hallway, you see a note, but that there are dormitories, but the hallway is locked off with like a keypad type device at the door, and no one is really traversing that hallway right now. You find yourself at the end of the hall, and having reached the stairs that descend into the lower levels.
We go down this way. I'm gonna let go of you now. And
Yeah, I'm going to take it slow because I don't think the stairs are built for me, so I'm going to be very ginger.
Yes, I remember back to first learning when my hooves developed into these heel type things, learning to navigate stairs. It was an experience.
Okay.
I've never met a Telfling before. I've read a lot about them, though.
We are a people.
They have really pretty horns.
Yes. And I'll smell the horns. I don't want to, but the nose it's got a mind of its own sometimes.
What do my horns smell like? They probably smell a bit like I think Virgil uses sandalwood in their hair to keep it back.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So
Mallow
probably...
is so like moved around the other side of Virgil and is like standing up like on tiptoes, trying to get close enough to smell the horn as well.
And it's very important tiefling hygiene. Like, be sure you clean behind your horns, kind of thing. So that sandalwood smell reaches your trunk.
You know, we are
Very nice.
very good examples of how physics should look. We were in the first, you know, it's... I must admit, the experiments here have been mostly cosmetic for me. It's been very nice. I no longer have to shave. Or shave my
I
legs.
like being shiny. I'm shiny now. I like being shiny.
I have to admit it. That's all very interesting to me. Like I said, I've read a lot about it, but I've never seen folks like you at all. So it's really quite an honor.
Yeah,
The nose is just going. The nose is going. Can't stop it. I'm nervous.
Virgil, how often do you deal with members of other guilds?
Surprisingly often. I'm an out and about workhorse, so, you know, I'm often going to parties as security or whatever and all that sort of thing. So I'm used to seeing people around the city. I've seen a number of people from a number of guilds, maybe not some of the more secret ones, but certainly the Boros I've seen before.
Very few people have seen the House Demir. They live in the shadows. Or if you've seen them, you don't realize it was them.
Ooh.
The Boros officers that you have dealt with before, none of them have been as amenable as Bruges is.
Yes, indeed. I was going to comment. Bruges, most of your superiors, they are so hell-bent on justice and righteousness. You seem to be more inquisitive.
Well, I am very young for my people, so that's one of the reasons why they let me out. Just to sort of see the world, you know.
But you're so big! You get bigger?
No, just older. Just older.
I was gonna say, how would you find clothes that fit? Wow.
I'm a bit small for my people too, so I have to admit, this is an interesting experience for me.
Would you like to be bigger? We can probably find a professor who can arrange that for you.
Well, maybe.
Perhaps we'll discuss it with Callus.
Sure.
You could have more noses.
More noses.
Maybe.
Perhaps you would like that armor built into your skin. That was a graft that I considered for a while.
Oh, yeah, it makes me shiny. I'm shiny.
I enjoy taking baths, though. I think that would get in the way.
Kinda.
I mean, yeah. You've heard of bath oils. You could just be your very own bath oil.
Maybe. I'm trying to be very nice. I'm terrified in my small way.
Mallow just like appears at his elbow and just goes, "I'm waterproof." Shiny. Wonder Woman pose, like.
I am not waterproof, but I do not like the water either, so... pros and cons. I just like my skin. I'm very comfortable in my skin.
The three of you arrive at this, the second floor down. It's there's a kind of a plaque on the wall that says third floor, B for basement. Not all growth chambers are built down, but this one is. And so the lobby is at the top, and all of the floors below are full of the experiment chambers and the laboratories and the libraries, things like that. So you reach this plaque, and sure enough, there have next to the 3B sign is a list of the professors and scientists on this floor.
Mallow kind of goes up to it and holds their hand up and just runs their hand down the list until whatever's on their hand matches a person's name. It's like, da-da-da-da-da. And when they find Callus, they kind of run their finger along. Very much like, small child reading. And he goes, okay, it's that, no, that way.
To Suite 322.
Stop
As
skipping
you...
off.
Oh, yes. As you make your way down the hallway past some of the other doors, you see a couple of suspicious glances and doors shutting quickly once they realize that there is a visitor from outside the guild wandering down the hallway.
Do I have enough headspace? I'm very conscious of that.
Yes, you
Okay.
do. It's not generous, but it's a very spacious hallway for sure. It's, you've got a good above your head.
Okay.
Don't stand on your tippy toes. And
Yes, that's
don't
right.
punch the sky or anything, because
That would be bad.
that's not going to work out.
Okay.
And down the hall you find Suite 322.
Mallow kind of stands by the door and bounces. Like, they've learned not to knock on doors because they get yelled at, but they're waiting for someone else to knock on the door because they found the door.
We're here then.
The door just opens. Virgil uses their natural thaumaturgy to slam the door open. They don't knock either.
Callus, who is across the room, looks up rather startled. Hello.
A brief bow, then I just turn aside for Mallow to take over.
Mallow just walks in and goes, "Hi, I was told to bring the visitors. I brought the visitors. I did that. I'm good at doing things. I did it."
And Bruges will just walk in and extend his arm, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
That's him.
yes. Fascinating. And Kalos reaches a hand out and grips your hand. This is a Vidalcan, so Kalos has blue skin, no visible ears, and somewhat of an amphibious face. Their nose is like bigger and flat, more flat, and their mouth is wide as they just grin at you.
I've never met a Vidalcan before, but I've read a lot about them. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Ah, yes. It seems you have actually.
Brood.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Oh, I look and they don't look a thing. It was, yes, it is.
Because
That
I'm
is
shiny now.
the nature
You
of
are very shiny.
Combine. People change. People grow and adapt to whatever is necessary, and that is what has happened with our good friend here. Remind me your name. I see you on the halls occasionally, but what is your name?
I'm Mallow.
Mallow, like with our good friend Mallow here. No, don't tell me. You don't have to tell me your entire life. I would be fascinated at some point to hear the genes that they used in your experimentation. That would be absolutely fascinating. But I will not take your time now. I know that you have a job to do. And forgive me, our Boros friend. What was your name?
Bruges, it's a pleasure.
Bruges. I probably should not discuss with our good friend Bruges here. But also, a tiefling I see.
Yes, Virgil. You may have seen me around. I've worked here for quite some time.
I have, but I don't see very many other tieflings. That is fascinating.
Not many
tell-
guilds will take on a tiefling paladin.
Are you an experiment, or did you travel here?
purely cosmetic experiments.
Ah, interesting. Well, I would absolutely be thrilled to hear more sometime, but of course, you're here for a reason. How can I help you?
Well, they think we are supposed to be helping you. There was a theft.
Someone stole something.
That's why I'm here.
I see, of course, Boros has gotten involved, of course. Yes, I have had some, well, some of my lab notes have gone missing, and I worry that this is, potentially dangerous for the Simic Combine, but also for a number of other guilds and the residents of Ravnica. I do not wish to go into too many details, but I will try to inform you in the best way I can. Experiments here vary in how dangerous they might be, and this one tended a little bit more to the higher end of the scale.
Oh,
I am
that sounds very serious.
Ah.
Mallow is
Exciting.
absolutely nodding like they understand it. They do not.
Kalos is still very glad that someone is seeming to follow along at least. And they say, I'm not sure what happened. The door was not the door was locked when I came in. And yet the notes were gone. I can show you where they were kept, and I can show you the experiment itself, but and if you have any insight or any questions you have for me, I will do my best to answer them and do my best to help, but we definitely need your aid.
Do you have the only key to your office? Do you use keys?
I have the key code to the office. Now, a couple of other individuals in the growth chamber have the key code as well. For instance, my partner, my scientific partner, also has the key code, as well as there should be a master list for the janitor, or for the that is kept separate from here and should be locked away on its own as well.
Let's see what you were making.
Sure, yes. And they kind of walk over, and they're not as tall as you. They're actually about as tall as Virgil, and they kind of have a little bit of a hunch, and they're wearing this kind of white overcoat with just kind of some goggles hanging around their neck, and they walk over to a desk with a drawer that says has a little key. And so they take out a key from the pocket of their jacket, unlock it, and open it. And inside are a number of stacked petri dishes. And they pull a couple out and set them on the counter.
Is this what you were making?
Yes.
What's I don't understand. What's dangerous about it?
Oh, look closer.
I kind of peer down there with my eye.
And they kind of like crouch down at the edge, and they're inside. The first is, it's like a slight moss, and it's hard to see because it is it's somewhat clear, but then it's also slightly opalescent. As you kind of like move your eye, you can see like pinks and golds and greens kind of like shift over the top, but it looks just like a mossy, almost like a little carpet inside this petri dish.
Uh, uh, and I'll kind of motion to Virgil. I'm, I don't understand. What's dangerous? It's moss.
Yes, it is moss, and it it tastes delicious.
Ah,
But they kind of like show the next petri dish, and there, inside the moss here, there are a couple of leaves and such that have grown off of. They're very long and thin, and they have that same kind of clear, opalescent look to them. And then they usher you over to the third petri dish, and inside this petri dish there is a stone, a small pebble, and it's just kind of sat in the middle, and the moss has entirely grown over it, and the leaves have kind of circled around it, so much so you can still see like the color of the pebble inside, but it's very small, about the size of a pea, and the petri dish is a little bit bigger than that, and they kind of motion to it. You see that? You see the stone inside?
I'll kind of punch over and really take a look at. Yes.
It's a very, very small stone. Yesterday, stone was this big.
Oh.
A hungry moss.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Mallow
ate-
takes a step back.
yeah.
So they say a rolling stone covers no moss, but this moss seems to gather a lot of stone.
Mallow kind of looks at Virgil like, huh?
It's an old saying. You probably don't even remember the Rolling Stones.
How does it smell funny? I will try to smell it.
Yeah, it smells like kind of like freshly cut grass, and it's very faint because it is locked within this petri dish, and they kind of stack up the dishes again and say, yes, this material is made special for some of our experiments that get out of hand, but it did eat through a number of dishes before we found one that would contain it. It's edible, and it's highly nutritious. Very many vitamins and even protein in this moss. It could do wonders for the poorer parts of Ravnica, but
Before it eats you?
it does not eat organic material.
Oh, well, that's a
inorganic
relief.
material.
Ah.
But if it were to eat lots of inorganic material and grow well...
What about, when you say organic, are you sure it's all organic, or where does the line drop? Do undead count as organics? What about moss, mushrooms?
They immediately take out a notebook and start, like, jotting some of those down.
How about demons? Do I need to be stepping away from this thing? I do not want to be... Well,
You're
devils...
organic.
Are you
You
living?
smell nice. Organic.
Well, yes, I'm
smell
living,
nice.
kind of,
You should be fine. Kind
Okay.
of.
By the good grace of some... let's not go into that.
All right.
When a demon and a mummy love each other very much.
Where would a scientist go to find undead flesh?
Mortuary?
Graveyard. Dead things there. Also bins. Lots of dead things in bins.
Yes.
I-
Now, if we must, we can reanimate it. We have the materials.
Bruce, do you know of any places where you can find undead in your experience?
I've never seen undead, but I've read about them. I know you can find them. Cemeteries. Sometimes they even walk around. I can deal with that, or so they tell me. But yeah.
Marlowe is like patting their pockets, like they've forgotten something, and then they just go, "Oh!" and pull a dead mouse out of their pocket and go, "I got one."
Oh,
Here you go. And like holds out
Oh.
to Callus, like,
Callus plucks it away and immediately takes it over to like a standing metal thing against the wall and opens a door on it, and like this burst of cold air comes out, and they stick the mouse in there and shut the door. I will reanimate it later and see how the mouse reacts.
his name was Cheddar. Good mouse.
very
I'm
sorry for your loss.
Fine. He bit me.
His life will be dedicated to science. We will learn many things from Cheddar's life and afterlife.
Happy to be helpful.
So, and I'll look back at the petri dish. How fast does it grow?
Oh, well, not too terribly quickly, but depending on how much material it consumes, it can gain energy. And so this on they point to the first dish that they pulled out, and they've now like stacked them up again, so it's at the top. And this one would grow fairly slowly, at a rate of a few centimeters per minute.
Mm-hmm.
The one at the bottom, because it is consuming, because it is growing, and frankly, it has taken some time to devour this stone. I do wonder if this petri dish we have created for it is not suffocating it in some way. But
Can you poke holes in the top? I did that for Cheddar.
unfortunately, no. I do believe that holes in the top would allow the moss to grow and escape and grow outside the dish. But this one would grow much faster, to the tune of possibly several meters per minute.
Several
That's
meters?
fast.
I mean,
Wow.
can you harness this growth? Bruges here was just talking about wanting to grow earlier.
That is the goal, right? If we contain a growth like this and feed it inorganic material, but confine it in a space that it cannot devour, we could have potentially sustenance, a healthy option for the people of Ravnica who go without meals.
Oh, yes, that's very noble, but I mean the growth side of things. Bruce was showing an interest in being taller earlier. I'm just wondering.
You
Totally speaking for Bruges here.
want Bruges to eat the moss, or you want the moss to eat Bruges?
I think I'll pass either way. I think I'll pass on that.
Oh,
But thank you.
Change your mind, no problem.
Yeah. Who else worked on this with you?
Oh, my partner worked on it with me. She is out sick currently, but she should be back. But she has been out sick this entire time. Well, unless that, was not true. But I had not even considered her as an option. She is, if she really is sick, I had not considered she might come up here and use the key code. And besides, she has access all the time.
What's her name?
Her name is Sarai.
Can you show me how to find her so we can talk to her?
Yes, sure. You can probably find her in the dormitories upstairs.
Oh,
Okay.
I know where that is. I do. Yeah.
I think that might be our second stop. But you said just your notes, or did the moss go missing as well? And I'll kind of look around.
Oh. Well, it was just the notes. And they kind of go back over and look like they're thinking a bit. They put the dishes back inside, and then they do like a quick... There is one dish missing.
Oh.
Oh no.
I had not... How did I miscount? There is...
What was in the last dish?
Just the moss. It had not eaten. It was just another storage container, but...
Okay.
It's no
Well, I think
longer here.
okay. I think we should talk to your partner. I think that's probably the best course.
I think so too. I want you to know that this situation has suddenly gotten much more dire.
Dire is a bad word.
It is, yes.
Are you saying that because the growth is getting bigger, it's now a dire moss? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, it might be. It is a dangerous situation, you understand. While this could have tremendous benefits if the moss were to be set free, it could eat all of Ravnica.
Oh,
But only the inorganic parts of Ravnica, right? Or it would leave the living buildings alone.
Yes, it would leave the living people and buildings alone. Unfortunately,
Well,
the
that's
other buildings would.
We don't have living buildings where I'm from. Just stone.
Oh, do we
Stone
have?
would be eaten.
Do we not have living buildings? Do we have living buildings?
Celestia would
know.
probably be fine. Some Simic buildings would be fine. Maybe some Golgari establishments, but
It would be nice to be a building.
This sounds like it could be very bad.
buildings have a lot of problems right now. I would not want to be a building.
Mm.
Perhaps it's a good time to sell up on the housing market.
I do worry that if the buildings were to fall, lives would be in danger too.
Ah, yes.
Are you
Mallow kind
familiar-
of like sneaks up to Virgil and kind of tugs on a bit. They're close and goes, "Is it in the ground? Kind of, you know, not alive? I like standing on things."
Well, I mean, this is what I mean, where do you draw the line on alive? Because soil gives life.
But it's not a lot. And like just looks down suddenly, like, "Oh God, what if I've been walking on a living thing this whole time?" Just like,
I mean,
I'm
would you
pretty
say
sure.
that plants are alive? They're organic, right? So plants are alive. Soil breeds plants. It could be
My-
organic.
My head hurts now.
I don't think my tusks would make it. Tusks aren't alive, even though I'm alive.
Oh.
My books, all our books. Oh, the books.
Oh, the books are gone.
That's not good at all.
They
Okay,
would be
well,
all gone.
we need to find out who did this.
Very desperate situation. We need to go and speak to Sarai, did you say her name was?
Yes, Sarai.
Sarai.
Sorry, dormitories, and just like points and starts walking out the door like, "Dormitories."
I will be here. I will try to work on something that might counteract the moss.
And if you could come up with some kind of sponge, you say it eats inorganic material, I could certainly use something like that to clean the smaller parts of my hooves. Anyway, keep it in mind for later.
Oh, yes. Practical thinking. And they write a little note down in their journal.
If you think it's bad when you step in shit on the street and you have shoes on, imagine doing it with hooves. Anyway.
Fun story. Mallow is barefoot, by the way, completely
Of course they are.
barefoot. Yeah.
And they're leading the way, right? Like, they're very excited. They know where the
They're like
dormitory
pointing,
is.
just like, dormitory. I saw it. I know where it is.
All right, I'll follow.
I too will
The
follow.
hand doesn't come down the whole time. It's just pointing.
Yes.
Very, we're off to the leader, the leader, the leader.
And sure enough, you make your way back up the stairs. It's the same scenery as before. The doors have stayed shut to many of the other rooms and laboratories off of the hall. But once you get upstairs, it's not far before you get to the dormitory, which is blocked off by a key code door.
I can't get past here.
Would I have, when we were passing before, is there a possibility that I would have seen anyone use a key code? Because Mallow picks up things that they don't really notice they've picked up. Can I make a roll for that?
Roll a retroactive perception check.
Okay. Why have I got advantage on? Where's the toggle? Oh, there's no toggle. Okay, 17?
Okay. Yeah, with a 17, you are able to catch the first couple of numbers, and it was a 3 and a 6.
Okay, so they will start like trying combinations using the two numbers they've got. Just like,
Oh my, we might be here for a little while.
No, just keeps going.
Would all of you roll me just like an intelligence check, please?
Oh no.
I will promise an average result at this.
A 6.
That's okay. Mallow is very focused on trying to get all of these. That is a natural 20 from
Oh, boy.
Scratticus.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, Mallow's very focused on trying to get this combination right. And they're just, putting in one number after another. And it occurs to Virgil as they're doing this that there is a master list of passcodes somewhere. And Kalos mentioned that earlier.
Could it also occur to Virgil that they could just thaumaturgy the door open? Is that how thaumaturgy works? Am I mistaking it for knock?
You're mistaking it for knock.
Thank you. Then in that case,
Unlocked doors, though, faux show.
Thank you. Yes, there is a master list of codes in the office.
I'm guessing because this has a keypad and not like a lock, I can't pick it. Because I have thieves' tools. And no intelligence.
Probably not.
Nope.
Well, which one of you can get the code for us? I can stay here while you go to wherever you need to go.
I can go and get the code. I shouldn't take long.
There's
Okay.
a 3 and a 6 in it. I know there's a 3 and a 6 in it. 3 and 6 is in it. Just keeps pressing.
3, 6, 8, 9 on the double wide. Anyway, yes. Okay, I'll be back shortly.
Okay. Now that Virgil's gone, I'll kind of look in and sort of talk to Mallow. Mallow, were you blue once?
Yes, kind of grey, blue. I don't know. I didn't have mirrors, but my hands kind of looked grey, blue. So I guess I was grey, blue.
Oh.
I'm different now because my skin got all shiny and waterproof.
I see that. Oh, wow. And I'll just
Good.
kind of look at her and smell her again. I've never met anybody like you, Mallow.
There's no one like me. I'm Mallow. I'm only me.
That's awesome.
I can't really feel things as well, though. It's like, you know when you put your hand in like really cold water for ages, and then you take it out and it's kind of weird? Kind of like that. It's kind of like that all over. Except for my mouth. Even my mouth is fine. Like I can feel that.
What is that supposed to do for you?
They told me, I think it means that I don't get as cold, because I used to get really cold, because living in bins, it's not comfy. But
Oh, I can
now I
imagine.
don't get cold. And it's a lot harder to cut me, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I used to get paper cuts a lot, and now it's fine.
Oh, my skin is very thick, and I'll hold out my hand. It's hard to cut me too, but I guess in a different way.
You're wrinkly.
Yes, yes,
I'm
and a
kind
little
of
bit hairy.
Stretchy. I don't have hair.
I see
went away.
that. I see that, and you're not blue anymore.
No, and like there's no eyebrows or eyelashes. Like there's literally no hair whatsoever at all.
Wow,
It's like nothing.
wow.
And I'm
So-
waterproof.
Virgil, where are you going? As they have this conversation as you walk away.
I will go and find this master list, which I recall the location of, and perhaps there are some security guards there. Maybe it's even the barracks, because I would know that pretty well, being one of the protectors. We need to get into buildings sometime, so I'll probably head back to the barracks.
Roll me a history check then.
Yes, certainly.
For a personal history check.
Oh, personal history check.
I've just realised that Vidalcan don't actually have hair, so it's not like they lost their hair when they did this transformation, but they're also very stupid, so they don't know that. They've never really gone up to another Valkadon and gone, "Can I look at your eyelashes?" So, yeah, they assume it's something that came with the shiny skin, but it's
They
not.
are so well-meaning.
They're so dumb. They are dumb as brick.
I would say they're pretty, but they're exotic?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. So, Virgil, historically, yeah, you haven't had kind of to deal with this before. You've been able to kind of rely on your contacts in order to get into places that you couldn't access previously, and unfortunately you're not as familiar with this growth chamber, even though you've been here a couple of times, and you find yourself wandering quite accidentally back out into the lobby, where there are the pools of water, the growth pods, and 3 receptionists.
I'll just walk up to the receptionist. Excuse me, can I get a room code, please?
The receptionist looks up at you, and he's not wearing a scarf like the other 2 are, and he just kind of like fixes it and looks up at you and just says, I'm sorry, what?
We need access to one of the dormitories.
You need access to... Do you have permission for that?
Just sort of point at my armor.
Yeah, that is a bit above my pay grade, but give me just a second. And he kind of like hops back, takes a deep breath, stands up, and goes to a door behind the reception area where there's
Wait. Is it above your pay grade? Maybe you could just help me out, I'm just trying to do my job, just like you're trying to do yours. Maybe I could persuade you to just overlook it this time.
Well, I am a little bit worried. I don't want to get in trouble, He kind of like laughs a little bit nervously.
I'm one of the protectors. Who's going to get you in trouble? Come on, let me persuade you.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Hey!
I try and lean into that hard. It's the only thing that Virgil's good at.
That was awesome.
He kind of like, spins on his heels and comes back a little bit. He says, I don't know all the codes. What room are you trying to get into?
The dormitory at the end of the hall down the way. It has a
yeah.
3 and a 6 in it. I know that.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. I don't. Please don't tell anyone I told you the passcode. Like I said, I know. I only know 2 passcodes, and they're just kind of, things I've picked up from my time here. But, I've taken a nap in the dormitories once, so
We've all taken naps in the dormitories.
See, you get me. Yeah, so 3695.
3695. 3695. 3695. Got it. It really was done with the white line. Okay. Thank you very much.
Looks back and forth, make sure that the other receptionist did not hear.
I'll offer my hand out and say thank you very much. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, Joris.
Joris. Virgil. We should drink together sometime.
I'd like that.
See you later.
Bye. And
Touch your
kind of
blood.
sits down and fixes his neckline again.
I have one skill, Shakes, okay? I have one skill. Let me use
Hey,
it.
that's a great skill. So
Yep.
don't knock it.
Did I just make a really high-pitched sound? Was that me?
Bonnet of a porch.
Might have been me.
Okay. I will
You're
head back. Yeah.
Where I assume Mallow is still putting in codes?
Yep.
Yep.
Not even looking at the keypad, just looking at Bruges, kind of so you're really, really big. Isn't the air thin up there?
I'm not that big, but I'm actually somewhat small for my people.
I'm the same height as your leg.
Yes, that's interesting.
Yeah. It must be. Can I climb on you and see what the view is like from up there? Because it must be really great to be that tall. I mainly see
maybe when we're outside, I don't think there's enough room in here.
Okay, later. And just keeps pressing the buttons. They've completely forgotten the 3 and the 6 also. They are just pressing buttons at random.
Just
now.
randomly pressing buttons.
Things don't stay in their head for very long. Consciously.
Of course.
Okay, Mallow, come away from the keypad before you break it. The code you are looking for is 3695.
Oh, I forgot 5 exists. Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, it's right in the okay. Wait. Before he presses the enter open button or whatever. So, yeah, how do we want to do this? Do we want to go in all dark and spooky?
I can do dark and spooky.
I'm not really a dark and spooky person myself, but I mean, however you normally do it is fine.
We can change that, and can I use my thaumaturgy to dim the lights around Bruges, change their eyes to red, and generally make them look demonic. Perhaps can I do smoke and stuff? No, I could cause flickering flames. So there you go. Now, Bruges, you look spooky now. Look, I'll grab a mirror.
Oh my! Just kind of smell it. Wow.
There you go. Okay, press the open button. Go on, question. Have fun. Usually I do this.
The door opens.
You're doing spooky? I don't know. Oh. Hides behind Bruges because they don't know if they're supposed to be scary or not.
Oh, well, I will walk in then. Okay.
You find a number of doors off of this hallway. It seems like that some of them are open right now, but they have bunks inside, usually just 2, an upper and a lower bunk, and 2 sets of those in each room. So they could essentially house 4 people.
Gotcha. And I guess we'll go to her room.
Yeah. So
Mallow is following behind Bruges, kind of looking back at Virgil, like, I don't know what we do. Are we Gur or nah? Just like desperately trying to be like, what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. Gur? Just like trying to mime being scary, like.
You make your way down the hall, and Mallow has not figured this out. Bruges seems unsure himself.
Mm-hmm.
And you find Sarai's name on the there are little like labels under each of the door numbers, and some of the doors are open. There's also like in between the two bunk beds, there's like a dresser. And some of them have some things scattered on them, nothing really valuable, but like there's like a lab coat laying across one of them, and there's like a pair of goggles on another. And the door that you reach is closed, and so there's like a little small window on the door where you can see inside, but other than that, it's just.
I will look inside to see if I see anything.
Yes. So one of the beds is occupied, and there are like littered tissues around on the ground. The other 3 beds are currently not occupied.
I will look at Virgil and Mallow, and I'll knock on the door.
Is Bruges still surrounded by an aura of menace thanks to thaumaturgy? So he's still looking fairly scary. Yes. Okay, Mallow, as soon as he knocks on the door, Mallow will panic and is going to cast Alter Self because they think they're supposed to be scary.
Okay.
So they're going to cast Alter Self, and their jaw will kind of crack to one side and drop, and their teeth lengthen. And basically, have you seen anglerfish?
Yes.
Yeah, they basically now just have an anglerfish mouth, just like jaw kind of slightly swinging, just like.
My dog keeps looking at me funny when I laugh at the fun things y'all say and do. That was one of those moments. Yeah, very good. You all look somewhat terrifying, and you hear a voice from inside say, "Who is it?"
I will look at Virgil and Mallow again, and it's Bruges from the Boros Legion. I'd like to ask you some questions.
Boros, okay, yeah, give me a second. And you see, like, through the little window, you see one of the blankets is kind of shoved off, and you see whoever it is, readjust this robe around their neck, and they stretch a little bit, and sneeze, and oh, sorry, my dog really did not like that one. And I'm so sorry, I know I fake sneezed. And she wakes her way over to the door and just kind of opens it. She's still kind of clutching her robe at her chest. You said what? Oh God, I thought the fever went away.
I'll be very nice, like I always am, and chummy. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I'll stick out my arm. God knows what she's seeing, but I'll stick out my arm.
Mallow, with this like face full of teeth, just kind of goes.
Heffalumps? And she just kind of like touches your hand and says, why do you want to see me?
Well, there's been a break-in at your lab, and I was wondering if you knew who may have used it, or if you were aware of it.
No, I'm aware of it. I guess I just thought Kalos had it well in hand. It's just some research notes, right?
Does she smell sick?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And I'll kind of look around. Well, we're not sure who had access to the lab. Other than yourself.
Mallow is gonna like try and sneak into the room past everyone and just turn over her room. Subtly.
Stealth check.
Yeah.
Hey! That's mean.
Hey, this is a pretty low DC because she is very sick. So, definitely you can make your way into the room. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
A petri dish. Or, yeah, basically just they're looking for a petri dish because that's what they've been shown is missing. So, very specific. Because they wouldn't know what notes looked like if they found them.
Yeah. Can you roll me an investigation, and we will get back to you in a moment.
Okay.
She's kind of nodding. I thought that Kalos had it in hand. Is that not?
I think things could get out of control, and she's a little worried. He's a little worried.
Hey.
They are a little worried.
Yeah. Out of control. This is. What about the research notes would get out of control?
Well, it seems you also lost the petri dish.
I'm sorry, what?
It's been taken, one of the petri dishes.
Oh. No. Oh.
I'm no scientist, but I think that would be very bad if it got out.
Yeah, I'm a scientist, and it would be very bad if it got out. And she like grabs a coat off of the door, and there's like a little hook right next to the door, and she puts on this lab coat and starts to like kind of push past you. And as she kind of tries to push past you, she bumps into you and then like staggers against the wall. Mallow, as you have investigated, you don't find a petri dish. You find a number of these tissues that are just kind of like, there's a stack right by the pillow, and then a number kind of like discarded and left forgotten on the floor. On the dresser that you saw is kind of like a staple in each of these rooms. In between the two bunk beds, there's like a tray, and there's like an empty bowl of soup and a glass, a yay full of water. But that's
I
it.
will probably emerge with tissues stuck to my hands. Just like, you could, like, as she's talking, you just see Mallow behind her, kind of like flailing about, like, in a farce, just trying to get these tissues off their hands. While trying to be quiet because they're trying to stealth.
Right, of course. Mm-hmm.
When they see... Sorry, go on.
I think Virgil will drop the thaumaturgy. It did not,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Bruges, they're not the spooky.
Changed. Your face just changed. What is happening right now? I have to get down there. I have to go help.
I think maybe you're a little too sick for that, but if you could show me what to do.
Been sick for days. I should be better by now.
Oh.
And just from behind her, did you eat moss?
Moss?
Except it's full of tea, so it's kind of, did you eat moss?
No moss, just soup, just the soup that they bring me from the cafeteria. One of them brings me some of the soup every time there's a meal, because I haven't been able. The cafeteria is right down the hall. I haven't been able to get there.
Mallow is going to drop the altar self, if that's possible. Can I drop it, or am I stuck with it for an hour? I was going to drop the spell and kind of pop out from behind her and be like, does the same person bring you soup? Because I've been sick and they don't bring me soup, and that sounds weird. Just like, like a small child trying to be a detective. Like, that sounds weird.
Yeah, I mean, the same person brings me soup. It's every time. Your face changed too.
My face does
Do I
that.
have a fever?
And-
I'll put my trunk on her forehead. Is it hot?
It's pretty hot.
I think you do. I think you have a fever.
Is that why your face changed? Your eyes are a different color now.
I don't have you. What? No, they're not. Because I think she's talking to me, so she's like,
What?
"Who brings you soup?"
One of the receptionists.
Which one?
Average height. Oh, what?
Mallow just looks at Burge like, average height.
Excuse me, can I try something? I mean, just in case this is some sort of affliction that someone is forcing upon you. I'm really sorry for the dialogue that comes along with it. I picked it up from my father, you know, it's one of those things. Virgil's voice will drop for a moment into, like, "Foul mortal, accept my gift!" and cast Lesser Restoration.
Yeah, okay, absolutely.
Mallow is actually going to jump and cling to the side of Bruges, like a cat that's been startled onto the curtains, just like, just hanging off his arm.
Sorry about that. I don't know how to cast it any other way. It has verbal components.
So
And then
is Virgil taking a shot here that she's been poisoned and trying to cure that? Is that kind of their goal?
If they've been poisoned or if they've been afflicted with a disease,
Okay.
that's my thinking.
Yeah. So, sorry, Mallow, what were you going to say?
Just like after they've got over the initial shock, Mallow is absolutely going to start trying to replicate the demon voice, just like,
This is really hard.
just like trying to do the voice. and
So
failing.
aside from the voice, Virgil, what does this look like?
For a moment, darkness swirls around Virgil. It almost looks like they've got wings, hand outstretched, as it also has semantic. It's absolutely terrifying. It's not how people should be cured. But it's the way they learn, and it's the way they know.
And it's the way it works. Sarai almost immediately starts to look better, healthier. She kind of takes one last sniff, but her eyes are looking clearer and more vibrant, and she's more alert, and she's just... What did you do? Oh my...
It would seem that this is not a natural illness. You are being poisoned or had an affliction cast on you.
Knew it! I knew they don't bring soup to sick people. They never bring me soup, and I always get ill, and I knew it.
Mallow, I will bring you soup in the future.
Aww. And Mallow literally, like, they're hanging on to Bruges' arm. They will actually, like, tuck their face into Bruges' arm, like, oh.
I should go. I need to go find Kalos and see if I can help in some way. I hate... thank you. Thank you. I had no idea.
We have that all in hand, Sarai. Perhaps you can tell us who it is that has been bringing you soup.
Yes, that's important.
It's just one of the receptionists. They're there most of the time. He's yay tall and
Is it the one that does not wear a scarf?
Yes. Yeah, that one.
Damn it, it's always the pretty ones.
I'm pretty. I'm shiny.
Ooh,
And I'll look at Virgil and I'll say, aren't you all supposed to wear scarves and such?
I
Isn't
mean,
it part of the uniform?
uniform is, I wear my armor, but for the professors and alumni, it's kind of an optional thing.
Mallow will kind of climb down off Bruge's arm and go, I get to have my scarf back when I haven't burnt anything down for a week. There's a chalkboard in my dorm.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Would you, Mallow? Would you like one of my scarves?
How far into the week is Mallow? How long have they made it without burning something down?
Yeah.
I'd say Mallow has gone about 4 days without having an incident. They only really think about it burning down, but it could also be acid eating through things, causing small storms. Pretty much, they have one of those boards that says so many days since your last bullshit. But they remember the burning the most. Because that's uncomfortable with the kind of skin they have now.
But hey, they're halfway through the week. That's pretty good for them, I think.
It's probably been about 8 months since they last had a scarf.
Oh. That's very sad.
Mallow messes up a lot.
Oh.
Poor Mallow. Make it halfway through the week and then you find yourself sliding back. There was one time Mallow made it 6 days. So close.
So close.
So
and then just they were like, oh, this liquid, it looks really pretty. What would happen if oh no.
Just exploded.
Just explodes. And the Simic don't like that. They're not like the other inventy people who blow stuff up all the time, which I can't remember the name of.
The alchemists. The alchemists.
That's it, yeah.
Usually the alchemist guild is blowing up all the time.
Explosions not welcome here, and
yes, there's a lot of lightning and explosions coming from the Is It League pretty often, actually. But the Simic Combine's experiments are much more natural than the Is It League. The Is It League is more purely science, and the Simic Combine combines science with nature and looks somewhat poorly on the destruction of that.
I think possibly because Mallow is a naturally chaotic everything. So the idea when they started to become an experiment was to try and find a way to neutralize the chaos and bring order to it. They haven't managed it yet.
Yep, that is understandable.
Virgil, can you take us to where this fella is without the scarf?
If they are still there, they did give me the room code, which means they may know that we are investigating. I did kind of go and see them wearing my protector's uniform.
Oh.
Let's go and see if they are still with the other receptionists. Come on.
Mallow will skip after Virgil.
Then I guess I'll follow along.
Yeah, Sarai follows you for a bit and then parts ways with you when you get out to the hallway. And she just she says, I have to check with Kalos and see if I can help in any way. Good luck. Thank you. Again, I had no idea.
You are welcome, foul mortal. Hey, Sarai.
Sorry about the mess in your room. It wasn't me. It was someone else that wasn't me. Other person, not me.
I'll fix it later. And she's already halfway down the stairs. Yeah, you find yourselves back out in the lobby and there are 3 receptionists. Virgil, you recognize them from when you walked in, but not from moments before. He is no longer here.
I'll walk up
sounded bad.
one of the other receptionists. Excuse me, where is Jorah? Have they taken a lunch break or something?
Oh, and she kind of looks for a second. She goes, I do think he took a break a moment ago, but he should be back any moment. He's supposed to be. I'm supposed to get my break soon.
And did they leave carrying anything? Perhaps a lunchbox? Maybe it was quite green.
What?
No lunchbox?
No lunchbox. There's lunch in the cafeteria if you want lunch.
No. I just get the feeling that Jorah...
Roll me a perception check, please.
All
Who?
of us,
Me?
or just Virgil?
All of you.
Oh,
Ooh.
sure.
16.
8! I have a ridiculously high passive perception. Stop rolling like shit!
Oh, that's even worse than 8.
Oof.
That's horrible.
Oof. Virgil, your eyes catch on the door back to the hallway. It's opening up, and you see Jorah coming out, and he has like his bags and everything with him, and he sees you at the counter.
He's ready to go.
And starts to run towards the door to the lobby.
Is the door to the lobby locked?
Oh, it's like the door out into Ravnica.
Can I wait until they are just about to go through the door and then use thaumaturgy to slam it in their face?
What, so they
You
run
can't.
into the door?
Yeah. And he spins around on his heels as like he tries to like not slam into this green glass door, and like he definitely does, kind of like hits the side of his face and turns back towards you and starts fishing around in his pocket. Everybody, please roll me initiative.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Ah,
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Bruce, do you
Yeah.
have any? You don't have any dexterity to add?
I'm pretty slow. I'm
yeah,
very
I figured
slow.
you might be. So
Yeah, it's a minus
okay.
1.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. Don't worry about it. It's
Not-
fine.
Not very fast at all.
This is fine. What can go wrong?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, he could roll the highest initiative. That could be something, but don't worry about it. He finds whatever he's looking for in his pocket, and he throws this petri dish down on the ground, and it
Oh,
breaks open, allowing this clear opalescent moss free.
I guess we found who took the moss.
Yeah, you
Eh.
could say that. Oh dear.
Oh no, this is bad. This is bad. It's
Oh
bad.
dear.
Is
Both
this
the
building
smart people said it was bad.
is this building alive or not?
I doubt we are so lucky.
Oh.
Mallow just stamps their foot like, I don't know.
Damn it, Mallow, you didn't make a week again.
No, this wasn't me. 4 days. I've got. I want my scarf back. It's pretty.
Mallow, can you set things on fire? I can't do that.
Sometimes.
Can you set the moss on fire?
I can try.
Go for it.
Now, Mallow's. Also, he draws a sword from his pack. It's a long sword, but pretty simple.
This is
Okay.
fine.
Mallow is really good at doing what they're told, so Mallow is going to attempt to attack the bits of moss, which are hopefully in one little congealed place. Have they actually like spilt onto the ground, or is it just like the petri dish?
The petri dish has cracked open and left some of the moss on the ground. Yes.
Okay, they are going to attempt to attack the moss.
Okay.
They do not have good attack things. Let's see. Okay, is going to use Chaos Bolt. I've never
Okay.
used this before, so. Okay.
That should hit the moss. It doesn't have much armor class to it.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just figure out. how to do this.
Spell.
One day is it? Okay, choose one of the d8s. So that's a 6 and a 1. I'm gonna choose the 1. So that is acid type damage.
Okay. And I'm sorry, that is, I think, a 7 and a 6?
Yeah, but it's the 2d8s and a 1d6, and you pick one of the d8s.
Got it.
So
Perfect.
I'm picking the 6. I'm picking the 1, so that it's acid damage.
Perfect. Okay.
Poison
yes.
damage doesn't seem like it'd do much at this point.
Yes. Yeah. You use acid damage on this moss, and it starts to shrivel a little bit. Do you
Good
have
job,
a-
Mello.
Yeah, they've kind of thrown their hand out and gone, oh, good, okay, it wasn't. Yep, that's a good thing. Good, it did a good thing this time. Huh.
Very good.
And it starts to kind of like shrivel, and you can see it kind of burning, and this like kind of smoke emanating up from the moss. Is that your turn?
Oh wow, that smells.
It does. It does.
Yes.
Acrid.
They're just kind of gonna try and wave the smell away and stay where they are.
Okay, now Virgil and Bruges rolled the same. So which of you you're kind of gonna go at the same time? Which of you would like to go first? Telling me.
I will. Virgil, do you need me? Your security. This guy is part of your combine. Do you need my help?
Oh, please carry on. I know how the Boros feel about justice and stuff. You can go and do your just stuff. I'm still thinking about the best choice here.
Oh, thank you. So I'll take out my mace. I've never used this before outside of practice, so this will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Renee-
fished around. I got my mace out.
Mace usually goes in the eyes. Be careful.
Yes.
Renee, I forgot to ask when I cast Alter Self before, so I'm remembering to ask this time. Do you want me to roll a 1d20 in case of Wild Magic Surge? Because it's after I cast any spell.
Yes.
Oh,
Is that
I've
even
never
a
done
question?
I've never done a sorcerer before, so this is
Welcome to
interesting.
Wild Magic Sorcery.
Okay, I didn't get a 1. I'm okay.
Okay, yeah, you're good. It's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, so Bruges, you can cross the lobby fairly easily. What are you doing?
Well, I'll stomp over there, and hopefully he's never seen any. I'll try to lift myself up on all haunches, and I've practiced this a lot in my mind. So I will say, "Halt, sir! You're under arrest."
And he looks up at you and is like, "Are you kidding me?"
It was worth a shot. I look back, and I'll bump him in the head.
Go ahead and roll me an attack roll, please.
All right, so this is, as far as I know, it's a +6, so it's 26.
Whoa, that is a critical success.
Yes.
So you do double damage. What we're gonna have you do is roll twice. Roll that damage twice.
Okay, as far as I know, it is 1d6 because it's just a standard mace. Let's see. Oh, wait.
Perfect. So just roll 2d6.
All right. 2d6. Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. Plus your strength.
But it's +3 because my strength is 16.
Yeah. So solid 7 damage on this critical hit, which is a bit of a bummer, not gonna lie, but it's not bad, you know.
It's more than I do the practice dummies. So
he dodges a bit out of the way, and it lands heavily on his shoulder, and he kind of like braces under the weight of it. And I forgot to roll something. Yeah. So it is now Virgil's turn, unless you had anything else, Bruges, that you wanted to do.
no, I'm in the thick of combat.
Cool. Virgil, what's up?
Let's see. So we have one assailant, some friends in there, but you know, Bruges is a friend, but they're also Boros, so probably would get away with it. Also some moss on the ground. Seems to me like I need an AoE Okay, hang on a second, Mallow. Hang on.
Hallowed Father, doth redeem me, protect this sacred land.
And I'll cast Moonbeam.
Okay, yeah.
Mallow kind of looks and then just goes, yeah!
I'm trying to stop the moss from spreading and hit the guy, but also may hit Bruges. Sorry, Bruges.
Okay.
Moonbeam!
Doop, doop,
I'm not a
doop.
wizard. I can't protect anyone.
And this is
I
a
have no idea what I am. I
Constitution
picked
saving throw.
all of the stuff at random.
Yes.
Sorry, Renee.
He does not pass the Constitution saving throw.
And if they are a shape changer of any sort, they would transfer back to their original shape.
Yeah, saving throw with
20.
disadvantage.
20. I think that is a 21. So I think hopefully I passed.
You do.
120. Do I have to make a con save as well?
No, you're fine.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, because thankfully my people have a pretty good constitutional save.
120 feet seems quite big.
That's pretty big.
I'm fairly sure it's supposed to be 20 feet.
Oh no, it's a silvery beam of pale light shines down in a 5-foot radius, 40 foot high. But I think you can.
It's the range.
throw-
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
casting it.
Yeah.
On the moss/doorway area, I suppose.
It's celestial spotlight.
Yeah.
You know, like a torch song.
Is that your turn, Virgil?
I think so. I mean, I have some bonus actions, but nah.
Okay. The moss on the ground is like sizzling. And Jorah turns and opens the door to the lobby and disengages from Bruges and starts to make a run for it.
I can't grab him, can I? The old
Mm.
grappling.
Currently, no, but you could try on your turn.
Okay.
And it is now Mallow's turn.
Does Bruges get an attack of opportunity because?
No,
Leaving.
because he disengaged as
Alright.
his action.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't have anything that could grab him. So. Let's see. How far away are they from me?
He
No, I can't
just
use that.
moved 30 feet. It depends on, did you move towards him on your last turn?
No, I stayed where I was.
So 60 feet away and outside.
Okay. Just. Okay. I am going to. That's an action. Okay. I am going to kind of look between Virgil and Bruges, and let me just check a thing. Okay. I am going to spend some sorcery points. Let's check. Okay, I am going to. Can I? What level is that? It's 3. Okay, I'm going to spend 3 sorcery points in order to cast a twin spell.
Okay.
I'm going to cast haste on both of you
Oh, cool.
because there's no way I'm running after this person. So yeah, fumbling through their pockets, they finally like come up with this licorice root and kind of like just jam it against their front 2 teeth, and do that, and just like go, and just like almost like flecks of spit are flying off in your direction, and you suddenly feel like you've drank like 20 coffees. So for the next minute, you have doubled speed, +2 bonus to AC, advantage on dex saves, and you get an additional action.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. You can only use the action to take attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object, but I figured attack would be a great thing. So yeah, they're gonna cast haste on both of you. And probably move towards chasing this person, but kind of edge around the moss and have a look at the moss. If they can do that as a... Can I look at something as a bonus action?
It's a full action.
Okay.
To, like, see what's going on with it. But yeah, you can make your way over there for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna move towards the moss.
Okay. Perfect. And then, it is... Hey, Mallow, could you roll me a perception check, please?
Okay. Perception. Hey!
Should I remind about the wild magic roll?
I was literally typing it in. It's typed. I was literally typing it in when you asked for a perception roll. Hey!
Yes, to see. Okay.
Still safe.
Yes. And so you hear the pounding of footsteps as you turn to find that one of the other receptionists is running towards you with a like metal club in hand. It's like a metal bar, basically. And she rolls to... Well, she does not roll. I roll for her to attack you. Does an 11 hit you?
No, it doesn't.
Good
'Cause
then.
I have tough skin.
Yeah, and she like
Carapace.
tries to like hit out at you, and it does not work. Your skin is too tough for that, and so her swing was not strong enough, and she just kind of looks frightened.
Mallow has like a proper puppy face, like, ow, why?
And with that, it is Bruges' turn.
I know that if he gains ground on me, I will not catch him. I am not a fast creature.
You've
So
got
with the
double speed.
haste, yes, with the haste, I'm gonna try to just give him a bear hug. I'm gonna try to get up to him and just grab him.
Okay, yes, and haste does double your speed, correct? In addition to, so your base speed is 25? Okay,
I think so.
perfect. Yeah, you can catch up with him pretty easily because he used his action to disengage and did not dash. So, he's only moved about 30 feet, and you're able to catch up with him pretty quickly. Can you go ahead and roll me a contest of strength here
Oh, okay.
to tackle and grapple him?
I've got, let's see. We add that, so it would be 16?
Yes. And he does not do well on that. So you effectively grapple him. He's this is easy, right? Like he's not even half your size when it all comes down to it. This is like and he's pinned.
Okay.
And he's like kicking and grumbling and you know
I'll
trying
turn
to
him to Virgil and I'll say, what do you do with your criminals?
Bringing them back, I guess.
I'll trudge him back.
Okay, yeah. You can pick him up. It'll still take a little bit to get back.
I can lift and push and pull as one more than my size. So I'm actually doing it as somebody who's large because I'm medium.
Yes. So are you wanting to take another action here?
Yeah, because I can take two, right? So I'll just drag him on back.
Okay, so you can get about halfway back with that extra dash action at the end there. Virgil, how about you? What are you doing at the same time this is going on?
Would it be fair to say that I noticed the person trying to attack Mallow?
Yes, because you hadn't left yet.
Then I will take from my side my trusty whip, and I will turn to lash at them.
Looks like we got a nerf friend.
So
Okay.
many jokes that I can't make. So many jokes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an attack, please.
Does a 13 hit?
A 13 does not hit her.
Does a 17 hit?
Yes.
I will hit with the 17, and do I feel lucky, punk? I do feel lucky. I'm going to use my haste action. That was my extra attack. I'll use my haste action to make another attack. I was not lucky, punk.
It didn't work. But it was a nice, try. For sure. And
You
so,
probably made lots of cinematic whippy, sounds.
Yes, as it whips around and flails.
Mallow was like, yeah.
And I'll be golding, like, hey, you do not have the gall to face me. Nay, nay.
how's that moonbeam looking?
Oh, I'm not concentrating on it anymore.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. It
Okay.
did the thing I wanted it to do. It made the moss sizzle. I'm sure everything's fine.
Yeah, totally. So the it is now, well, it's technically the dude's turn, but he's all wrapped up in elephant arms. Being
I'm
brought
giving him a
back.
squeezing.
So if you could just roll me a quick contest, he's gonna try and get out, but that's it. That's all he's doing. So if you could roll me strength again. that'd be great.
15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, you're good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He's struggling, but he's not getting out anytime soon. And that brings us to Mallow.
Mallow kind of like in this position where something very hard has kind of hit them, and they felt it, like they know it's supposed to have hurt, but it didn't, and it's kind of like, ow! And it's just going to turn their hand and open it and cast poison sprays. This little puff of noxious spray is going to come out of basically the pores of their hand. See, that's a DC 14 con save.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
she did not pass.
So 6 points of poison damage.
Yep. She is hurting a little bit.
It's like, rude. Ow. Probably.
Ow!
Yeah. Not nice, is it?
Bruges, it's your turn.
I'll just keep dragging him back. That's what I'll do. I'll kind of look over and I guess I see fighting maybe, but I'll just keep lugging the guy back.
Yeah, you're able to easily make it back. I mean, in this turn, with your haste going on, you're doing okay.
Okay. All right. I figure they can handle, I mean, I've got this fella, so I figure they can handle this other person. I'll just lecture this thief on taking stuff and beat him with my trunk. You shouldn't steal other people's property.
Ow!
Oh.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
All I've got in my head is that scene from Dumbo, where one of the elephants picks up the
Yes.
ringmaster and just spanks him. Just like...
Mm-hmm.
Virgil, what are you doing?
Sorry, I missed what happened with the other receptionist. Are they still...
They're
The
hurting,
poison.
but they're up.
Okay.
They were basically attacked by a very small skunk. That's the level of bringing the pain. Just like, yeah.
And how are they looking, this receptionist?
They're looking like they hurt.
I will just whip at them once, first of all.
Yeah.
With 23.
Yeah, that hits.
With another 5 slashing damage and be like, do you yield?
Ow! Fine, yes, I yield. And her eyes kind of drift to wherever the sizzling pile of... What's it called? Moss. I was like, mulch? It's not mulch.
No.
What? Moss is on the ground and just reluctantly kind of drops the metal bar that clacks onto the lobby ground.
Marlowe's just gonna be like, now say sorry!
That's right, say you're sorry. I'll give her the trunk pointing. Yep.
Sorry? What am I sorry for?
You hit me! I mean, it didn't hurt, but it was supposed to.
Okay.
Possible ow! Possible ow!
It's wise that you yield. Like, in the pause before they said they yield, there was like this divine light building behind Virgil's eyes. They were getting ready to go supernova.
Yeah.
Okay, we have caught everyone. Now let's sit you down and get you questioned.
She, like, reluctantly sits down. The third receptionist is just sitting at the table and is just, like, so shocked by what just went down in the lobby right now.
Yeah, I would be too. I guess.
Marlowe is gonna, like, poke one, like, away until they're, like, against a wall and be like, sit down! Stay!
She sits down against the wall. Her hands are kind of up.
And I'll put the other fella right next to her and just plop him over there.
They both are just glaring at you defiantly.
And I'll look to Virgil. Go ahead. I think we've got our culprits, but do you want to ask him anything?
Well, Boris, I believe that would be your speciality. You can figure out who they are and everything. I'm going to go and look at the moss and see if I can contain it at all.
Okay. And I'll point at both of them and why did you steal the moss?
So that we can grow it.
Wasn't it already growing here?
Not fast enough. Stuck in those petri dishes? What did you think it was gonna do? It only has so many edges to grow to.
But it eats everything! I mean, which, you know, not living stuff, which is good, but it eats a lot of stuff. Kinda
Including
hard to-
books. All the books.
And maybe the ground. I like standing on the ground. Did you think about this? Did you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Right, fair.
Are they from the Combine? Do they smell different? Do they look different? Or
They look to be from the Combine. Why don't you all just roll me a history check?
history? Oh.
Oh, you couldn't have picked insight. I have 0
Yeah.
history.
I mean,
History.
Virgil's-
I don't have anything in that either.
You
so.
can roll insight if you want. I mean, the chance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I want to roll insight instead. Yes.
13.
Virgil
Okay.
has stepped back from the questioning and so will not take part.
For
Okay.
a dumb person, Mallow is really wise.
Very nice.
Yeah. So what you're kind of getting, Mallow, from the situation is that they both seem very set in their ways and what they want to be doing. They appear to be members of the Simic Combine, but these actions are outside the borders of typical expectations, and they definitely believe them, though. They definitely seem like intelligent and thoughtful, if not, radical. Bruges. With your role, you remember that not everyone in the Simic Combine agrees. You don't have enough experience with the Combine itself to really recall any further meaning to that.
They're not monolithic. Okay. Virgil, what do you do with people? I mean, he can have different beliefs, but he stole stuff and almost put the city in danger. I'll leave that to you.
Virgil is in the background. They've put down their pack. They've pulled out some black and red vestments. They've been putting them on and pulling out like a censer with a stick of like essence. And they've started like spinning the essence and walking around the moss trying to contain it. Oh, they're Simic. I don't know, I guess I detain them and get a professor to downgrade their GPA or something, I don't know.
And
they're gonna have to retake the class.
Don't do it again? I don't know. I just want my scarf back.
Virgil, what are you trying to do with the moss? Just like make sure it doesn't grow any further?
Yes, I am imploring the, one, my father, and two, the essence of the Simic Combine to contain this moss.
Okay, yeah, sure. How do you want to do that? Like, mechanically?
I have no idea.
Cool, let's look and see what skills we have.
Literally like the mechanic for thoughts and prayers right now.
I guess religion?
Sure.
I don't think I have a spell that suits. Do I have a spell? At a push, ensnaring strike on the moss, but not really.
Oh, yeah, by the way, you two are probably feeling exhausted because my haste has likely run out.
Yeah.
So it's like you've just ran like a marathon and your brain doesn't, you're just like, oh.
You hit that brick wall so hard.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly so tired.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sorry that it does that, I've been told. It... Whoosh, then! Yeah.
Be right back, my dog just limped to the door.
Oh.
Limped? Oh no.
Aww. Poor puppy.
You know they want something when they start laying on the guilt trips.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Who knew that the problem would be in the Simic Combine the whole time? Or mostly, anyway.
Oh, that was bad and you should feel bad.
I don't.
No, that was just...
Did you make another bad joke?
Yeah.
So bad.
Oh, good. I can't wait to hear it. Rules 8 is not, like, great, but you, with your thoughts and prayers and, like, vestments and incense, yeah, it's not growing any further out. It's staying in that same, it's just like a little, it's about a patch about this big. Yay big on the ground.
Yeah, big, okay.
Mallow is
Might
kind
have
of
to remove the floor for that.
Mallow is kind of like looking at those two, and then we'll kind of be like, "Oh, okay. I think we need smart people," and so is going to cast message, and just like send it to Callus, and just be like, "We found the moss. It's in the lobby. Can you like bring a dish? Thanks. It's Mallow."
You can respond with message, right? Quick response?
Yes.
Yeah. You hear, "Oh yes, we will be right up," and I will be right back, and my dog is back.
And, you know, Virgil's sort of looking at this moss on the ground, and like, they're looking at their finger and thinking, do I flamethrower this shit? Do I just burn it into nothingness?
And Mallow's just like, the smart people are coming.
Well,
I mean,
Virgil, I don't have it, but don't you have inflict wounds? It's
No.
alive. Wouldn't that work? No? I don't have it. I've read about it.
I didn't take inflict wounds. I did not.
Oh, okay. I
Oh.
figured, you know, with the horns and...
I'm very good at smiting.
Oh, okay.
I do a lot of smiting.
I can it again, but I don't know what would happen.
Oh,
It doesn't always do that.
Gotcha.
I mean, let's wait and see what the smart people say.
Not that you're not smart. I'm sure you're very smart. You look smart. Both of you smart.
No, I'm very average, Mallow.
I'm not.
You, a few moments later, the doors swing open, and both Sarai and Kalos come running into the lobby with kind of like they have gloves on, they've got these like petri dishes, they've got like little like shovels. No, you've got like little shovel things. Stop it. I am busy telling a very important story.
What noise is that?
I can hear the doggy.
That is the dog.
It sounds like a turkey.
I gobbled.
Get it.
Oh.
I don't know what she wants. She did her business. She got a treat. She should be fine. Come on.
Oh, she's a cutie.
She's
Yeah.
a little cloud. Oh.
A little poof.
What? Yeah, they have their little like shovels and tools and stuff. They immediately like rush over to where you are, Virgil. What happened?
They happened.
They did it.
Who are they? And Sarai kind of like stalks over to them and is like glaring at Jorah. It's like, what did I name him? Jorah is just glaring at him, is like, you did this? What purpose could you possibly have? And like starts yelling and just tearing into him. Kalos, on the other hand, runs over and to where Virgil is and bends down, starts trying to kind of like scoop the moss and put it into the dishes they brought up with them.
I mean, if you want me to burn it, I can try and burn it. It seemed like whatever Mallow did earlier it stopped the spreading. Mallow did a good.
It was. They said to, I want my scarf back. It was a good thing. They said it. You heard them.
It was.
Yeah.
Nothing's on fire.
As Kalos gets the shovel like under the moss and like starts to kind of like lift it up at the corners, it's like it's hitting something. Like it's not just going under and lifting it like a pancake. And they their eyes kind of widen a little bit as they like lean down and lift it up, and the moss has not been growing out, but it has been growing down.
Oh.
Oh no.
Ooh, that's not good.
And
Oh, no.
they look at you, Virgil, and say, fire might be good right about now. I have other samples, it will be fine.
Okay, I can do this 4 times. Stand back a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
There's more.
Yeah.
They start speaking in Infernal this time, so like...
Yeah. Yeah. So you absolutely just this burns, and it just like completely devours the edges of this moss and eats it like from the inside, and it just slowly sizzles away, and you're left looking down with a hole where you can see into the floor below you. And one of the scientists there stops and kind of looks up now that they can hear you, and is like, what happened here? Get that closed up. This is top secret. And Kalos just says, sorry, and like puts a little piece of fabric over it.
I don't have anything to fix things. I can smite things an awful lot, but I don't have any mending stuff.
Yeah,
No,
I hope nobody
I-
falls through the hole.
I think that we have the budget to fix this. Is it's part of the you know, the trade. It's
Do you think we could
It's a
just
side
move the front desk over it, maybe? Like,
very possible.
cheap option.
Yes, just feng
Nice.
shui.
Nice plans. always put plants in my dorm when I make holes in things, which I haven't done in 4 days.
Plants, also very good. And then she kind of like looks at one of the petri dishes she has and like holds it up to the hole for a minute and then takes the petri dish out and like puts the fabric inside, closes it, and then sticks the dish down in the hole, and it's just about the right size. It sticks into the hole. There, better.
Done. There you go. They're happy. We're happy. Everyone's happy.
Okay. Do we kill these two? I can
Oh
do
my.
that. I've done that. I mean, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. Or I'm not supposed to have not done.
I mean, honestly, I would normally lean into the Boros on this, you know, justice and all that. What does justice determine that we do? Our professors, you are obviously very wise.
Yeah, we just put him in jail. I mean, we wouldn't kill them, but I don't know. I mean, every guild faction sort of takes care of their own if it's internal. So I'm not one to tell you how to do your laws.
Professors.
Sarai is standing there cross. Her arms are crossed. She's looking very cross. And she just says, if these people are who I think they are and affiliated how I think they're affiliated, then I don't trust them farther than I could throw them. Jail sounds like a great place for them, and since the Simic Combine, well, oh, we have places for that. But I don't want them reconnecting with any other of their kind. If Boros has a jail to keep them,
Okay,
that
that's
might be
fine.
the best place for them.
Sounds good.
Try to keep them away from any other Simic prisoners you have. That's my recommendation, at least. They shouldn't reconnect with their radical group.
And I'll nod to her and I'll stick my head out the door and I'll do a big trumpet blast to let the rest of the Legion know that something's going on. They'll be here in a minute.
Excellent. Virgil will lean over the counter and pull out a length of rope and go and start tying them up.
They still glare defiantly, but they know they've lost. They're not feeling well. They're looking pretty hurt, and they reluctantly are tied up.
Jorah, you shouldn't be so resistant, you know. It could have been fun. What were you doing?
I'm not a submissive.
Didn't say you were.
I'll look over to Mallow and I'll say, Mallow, you did a fantastic job. I don't have a Combine scarf, but I can give you mine. And I give her my Boros scarf.
Oh, and Mallow, this is the best.
It's a little big for you, but I mean, you're more than happy to keep it.
Practically wearing it like a sash.
Yeah, it's about that big.
I don't know if I could keep it because the Simic Combine is my everything, but I got a scarf, and just starts like skipping around. And we'll go over to the two tied up prisoners and take out the disguise kit and like basically use a lipstick to write a big D on both of their foreheads. They made me wear that hat a lot. And they keep skipping.
And they just look furious. Jorah is particularly glaring at Virgil. The other is just kind of glaring at all of you as the Boros officers arrive. And Bruges, you recognize your superior who sent you on this quest. He's a Minotaur, and when he walks in, he is an imposing figure. He's not as tall as you, but he carries himself with pride and distinction, and he comes towards you and sticks out a hand and says, "You did well, Bruges, on your first outing."
Thank you, sir. It was an honor.
What would you...
If the Boros wants recommendations, I can say that Bruges acted with honor and dignity at all times, always had justice at the forefront of his mind, and all the other good things. It was just like working with any other agent.
Mallow like pops up from behind Bruges, still with this massive scarf, just like, he did really good. He was really good. Really strong.
That is very impressive, and I will be sure to make note of that, and hopefully he will continue to serve the Legion well as he connects with other guilds. And he says, Bruges, what is your recommendation with the situation?
Well, we caught the thieves, and I talked to the folks in the Combine, and they would like us to incarcerate these two. I think that's what we should do.
All right. He kind of like signals, and two of the other soldiers who came in with him march over and hoist the two up and take them away. And your captain, the Minotaur, looks to each of you and says, what are they charged with?
Theft. Well, and something a little more serious, if I can sort of talk to you about that later.
Of course.
And destruction of property.
One of them hit me.
Not making good on a date. Lying.
Attempted murder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, murder, perhaps manslaughter. Not sure if they were trying to kill you, but they
Manslaughter
definitely poisoned you.
I'll whisper to my officer. I think they had a weapon of mass destruction too.
Or was it a weapon of mass destruction?
That's right.
No,
Very good.
no!
That's right.
And he nods and crosses his arms. He says, "You and I will have to discuss that when we are back within our own guild hall.
Yes,
As
sir.
for now, thank you to the Simic Combine for your cooperation. We appreciate being able to step in. We understand that is not always the ideal for both guilds, but we hope that this will be the best scenario, and we will take them." And he kind of looks over at those he knows to be Simic and says, "Are they adaptationists?" And Sarai says, "I believe so." And he nods and he says, "We will take that into consideration. Thank you." And he nods at Bruges and says, "Set up a meeting with me when you get back to the guild hall." And then he and the others leave with prisoners in tow.
I guess I will go with. I'll follow him, and I'll wave at Virgil and Mallow with my trunk. Bye,
Mallow is
guys. It was
literally-
fun.
Mallow is literally gonna hug your leg.
All right.
And then we'll kind of like take the scarf off and you probably need this, and they'd probably like take it away. So yeah, thank you.
Oh,
You're very
thank you.
nice
Oh.
and big. I
I'll
haven't
put the
forgotten
scarf
your
back
climbing.
on.
Later.
I'm sure we will meet again, Bruges. You so great promise.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I will see you again. Trunk wave.
We'll meet again. Don't know where. Don't know when.
Scrat is on fire today.
So rude. So rude.
And you have all successfully saved the Simic Combine from mass destruction. I'm sorry, it was
That was
there,
awesome.
it was
Well,
good,
we
and
a
I-
little
I-
bit destroyed. A little bit got destroyed, but we mostly saved it.
Oh.
You've used that one already. You can't use it twice.
I
You've used
don't
that one
know.
already.
I'm about that life, so thank you all so much for playing today. I enjoyed getting to go back to Ravnica. For our two that will not be returning next week, I would love to hear how things go for Bruges as he transitions into his next assignments in the Boros League. What do you think happens with Bruges beyond this mission?
Well, Bruges, and I wanted to play him that way. He is very young, so he doesn't have the sort of callous Boros law thing yet. He's more into seeing the world. So I what I hope is that he gets to see more of the city and more guilds before they sort of start to indoctrinate him. So that's
He's the
what I
type
hope.
to travel the world and go see all of Ravnica.
Yes.
Perfect, yeah. And he learns more and more as he goes. He knew he read something about the adaptationists, but there's a faction of the Simic Combine that believes in the quicker evolution of nature through sometimes destructive and dangerous means. If it means evolving and becoming better, then they're often willing to pursue it. And so sudden and disruptive growth, as the book says. And so that always kind of stuck with him, you know, once he remembered what it was. And on his quest with the Simic Combine, he often thought of the first assignment he ever received and the two that he met while he was there, including Mallow. How did Mallow's future develop? Did they stuck around at the Simic Combine? Did they ever get their scarf back? We're dying to know.
I think that because they've been in the Simic Combine, like they very rarely leave the actual like buildings apart from to go like between guild halls and things. So they're very insular. They've been in the Combine since they were a child, really. So I think this will open up a new avenue for them, because someone will notice that this actually went right and this went well and nothing got exploded or broken beyond repair. And it will like get back to someone that they actually used a spell and it went the way it was supposed to, and no one like died or got horribly injured more than they were supposed to.
Right.
So I think it will go further up, and eventually they'll start being trusted with more than basically fetching coffee and blank notepads and really the grunt work. So they might actually get a little bit of responsibility, and that's all they really want to do. They want to give back to the Simic Combine because they believe they've been given so much, and so they'll get a little bit more responsibility. Nothing major, but a little bit more responsibility.
But
and
a couple
might
of
even
important messages, things like that.
Yeah, and they might even be allowed to like run like between the guild halls on their own for once. They really want to run back into Bruges and actually climb him. Because I really love the image of them like sitting cross-legged on his head, just like tall.
That's a good question. Do you think Bruges and Mallow ever meet again?
Oh, Mallow will find him.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Good.
There will be
Good.
like a shriek of his name, and then just this little figure running through a street to jump. It's like, hi, remember me? They do get their scarf back for like 3 days.
That's
Wild
3
magic.
days more than it was before.
Yeah. But I think as they start to get more responsibility and a few more jobs, they will be allowed to keep their scarf because it is an emblem. So if they're leaving the guild hall, they have to be recognizably of the guild. So they're allowed to keep their scarf. And it moves to something else. Like if you go a week without injuring anyone, you might get some chocolate. It becomes more of a reward system than a punishment system, I think, after this, which works a lot better.
Is perfect. And of course, for Virgil, we will see more of them next week on Guildmates of Ravnica when Sir Stalwart is back. I so appreciated being able to stand in today. I had a great time and I really loved the setting, so I'm excited to develop more adventures in it and spend more time in it and just get to know the world better. Thank you all so much for playing. We're gonna go around, and if you could tell us who you are, where we can find you, anything you want to plug, and what was your favorite part of today's session. Shakespeare, we'll start with you.
Hello, I am Shakespeare. You can find me on Twitter at Shakespeare. I'm on Instagram as well, same handle. I play in the Realm of the Ancients game on Scratticus Academy on Thursdays, which is amazing. The wonderful Alice is our DM. And my favorite thing was probably the, okay, we're going to do this scary. Everyone go in scary. Hi, how are you? And just Mallow panicking and just blowing a spell like, okay, I've got to be scary. And then Bruge just basically being a Jehovah's Witness, like, knock, knock, hello. And Mallow just being like, no, okay, I guess I stuck with teeth. That's fine. It was really fun to play because I think because Bruge was so young and Mallow is actually like early teenager, they haven't been around for a long time. So it's just like you have two young people and Virgil just enabling it. Like the worst babysitter ever. Just, yeah, you go do the thing. I'll watch.
Yes, it was perfect and wonderful, and I loved them. They had such great character, and they fit very well with the others as well. Speaking of, Jim, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of today was?
Sure, I'm Jim Pyre. I generally play a befuddled old man because that's what I am. You can find me on Twitch or Twitter or even YouTube, and I play games badly, so that's what I do. And my favorite part, I think just playing somebody so young and so sort of innocent and wide-eyed was the best time I had. It really was. Stomping around, and big, and stomping around, because he didn't know his sort of space.
Yeah, he was a very endearing character. He had so much personality and was so different from what's typically expected from the Boros Legion, and that was very, I think, refreshing to see him hop right in and work with his Simic compatriots. I will not have my phone playing this stream in the background. And I'm going to send my links to the chat, and then I'll let Scrat finish us out so that he can tell you all the amazing things about Scratticus Academy, like our sponsors and our Discord and things like that. I am Renee Rhodes, Ray Deanne R on Twitter. I am a freelance writer and social media manager, and I love doing everything gaming. So I post a lot of written content, but as well as like being on streams 3 times a week most weeks. I'm on Nerd Immersion playing D&D on Mondays, alternating Mondays. I am on Encounter Roleplay playing Call of Cthulhu on Tuesdays. And then I'm here on Scratticus Academy on Wednesdays, so tonight, running Dynama, which is a playset for the game Weave by Monocle Society. So I will be back here at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, storytelling that game, and I'm very much looking forward to how that pans out. I'm not usually here, but I love stepping in, and if you are interested in other D&D content from me, you can check out my podcast, Fate and the Fable Maidens, which is an all-women and family-friendly actual play podcast at Fate FM Cast across social media and at fatefmcast.com.
Thank you so much, Renee. Quick shout out as well for Malakatra on Twitter, also known as Nairi. They couldn't make it this week, but they're usually our constant character as well. Renee, this was amazing. It was such a treat. I felt like Chris Moss came early. I really did.
It took me a minute. I got it.
You generated such a great atmosphere. It was wonderful.
Stop, okay? Stop.
It was great. Thank you so much. What a nice little treat. I learnt a few things about Virgil this week, actually. It was great.
Apparently they like rope.
I think it was really a good atmosphere to grow, you know? Like, as a character.
We're stuck in that now, and I'm sorry all that I did this to him.
Oh no, he does it to himself.
I do. I do. Well, everyone, I will put all of our links in the chat now. There's going to be a wall of links, including our social links, sponsor information, places you can find us online, Twitter, Discord, all the places where you can find our timetable and other things. We just hit 4 followers, but we're at the end of the game, so unfortunately there won't be a reward for this one. But thank you all so much for the follows as well. This stream is brought to you by Mageham Press and Bird in the Storm Publishing, who are our official sponsors, and we also have some other things to do with discount codes and things as well. Today we are going to be heading over to raid Rachel, but before we go, I would say that my favourite part was the just the introductions, really, just meeting each other and learning about our characters, and I'm addicted to awkwardness, and I loved the sort of silent bit at the beginning. It was great. Today's raid cry is going to be a weapon of moss destruction. We're going to fill Rachel's chat with that. It's going to be great. I'll start the cooldown going now. Thank you so much for coming along to the stream, everyone. We'll be back in around 2 hours, where I will be running some Cypher System. This week in the Cypher Cinemas, we'll be going to space. So, and I definitely have a plan for that. Definitely have a plan. It'll be great. It'll be great. It's gonna be fun. Until next week, everyone, until next time, everyone, keep on evoking emotions. Guildmates of Ravnica will be back at this time next week. Catch you later on. Bye!
Bye!
Bye.